Hello, my darlings. This is Jane B. Lee again. I'm here talking about writing books, poetry, all that sort of stuff, things having to do with literature primarily, and also to peddle my latest book, The Red Bitch's Revenge. Very thick novel. It's actually two novels in one if you buy that one. And the last time we talked, I read the first part of The Red Bitch's Revenge, which was an action sequence. And the chapter turned out to be longer than it should have been. It was nine pages long. The new book that I'm working on now, is Angel the Assassin. So it's coming along. It's getting close to doing it. But what I thought I'd do is on Angel the Assassin, I've read you the cover and told you a little bit about the blurb on the back. It's a short blurb. It doesn't have to be long for that book. But now I'm going to read you the first chapter. It's short. I made this one intentionally short. It's less than 1,400 words. That's like 3 pages. So I'm going to read that one to you now. This is from Angel the Assassin. That's chapter 1, The Target. Lisa lay on her back in her nest, her eyes closed and her forearms across her eyes to block out as much sun as possible. Her Enfield 303 World War I British sniper's rifle lay beside her. God, I wish they would quit arguing and just go, Lisa said for the umpteenth time. Lisa had parked in a turnout below her just off a 2-lane road on the side of a hill. She had strolled up the hill picking wildflowers. When she got to the right spot, she laid out her canvas pad and settled into her sniper's nest. She checked her Enfield, making sure her scope was set to compensate for the variables of distance, wind, and drop rate. Her target was due in the exercise yard at any minute. I got one shot, she said over and over. Master Sergeant Lips, her dad, and all the other sergeants had driven that into her head. One shot per target. The Enfield didn't have a silencer. The shot would be loud. It could be easily heard over half a mile away. She couldn't take the chance of somebody being able to locate where the shot came from. One shot only, she said as she rolled over. Her targets came into the yard. He took the top seat in a 3-tiered bench next to the wall in the sun. The target's fat face came into view as a car came to a stop in the turnaround below her. Damn, Lisa said, rolling on her back. 2 car doors slammed as a man and a woman began yelling at each other. I guess he cheated on her, whatever, Lisa thought, her eyes hidden from the sun. Lisa really didn't understand at her age, that rage at her age. At 16, she had never had a relationship or even friends anywhere near her age. The sergeants were all older men. Then there was her mother, Aunt, Dr. Sharon, which was the extent of her world. Come on, dump him already, she said, checking her watch. The target is only going to be in the yard for another 20 minutes or so. The quarrelers had quit yelling. A few minutes later, she heard the car doors close, and a minute later they drove off. Finally, she said, rolling over. She put the Enfield to her shoulder and lined up the targets, and slowly let out her breath as she squeezed the trigger. At that instant, a bald head popped up in her scope. She quickly jacked out the spent round, click, click, and the second round was on its way. She saw the first round enter the back of the bald head. It came out of his forehead, hitting the target in the chin. As the bald head dropped away, seconds later, she saw the target's head jerk back as the second round hit the target in the nose. Blood spattered on the wall behind the target. Lisa rolled over on her nest around the Enfield, and making sure the ejected cases were in the bundle, she walked down the hill with the bundle under one arm, the bouquet of flowers in the other. Lisa held the bouquet to her nose, taking in their fragrance. She thought, they smell so nice and clean. As she got to her car, she slid the bundle into the compartment she had built under the car. She took off the rubber band holding her hair back and shook her hair out, unwrapped and wrapped the rubber band around the flowers, making a lovely bouquet, and set the flowers on the seat beside her. She drove down the road which connected the main road to Lompoc Prison. She turned south and came to a roadblock less than a half-mile away. A prison pickup truck was blocking the way. 2 guards were checking southbound cars. There were 2 police cars parked on the northbound lane. A guard approached Lisa's car as she rolled down her window. "What are you doing here?" he said, putting both hands on the door. Without waiting for an answer, he said, "Driver's license." Holding out his hand, her wallet was sitting on the seat next to her, next to the flowers. She quickly checked the license to make sure it was the right license, then handed it over to the guard. "What are you doing way up here? The license says you live in Corona del Mar." "That's way south of here," the guard said, looking inside the car. "Yes, well, Lisa decided to take a page from the lover's quarrel. My boyfriend and I broke up last night. I caught him cheating on me. I just decided to take a drive this morning to get it together. I found a field with wildflowers, so I picked some." "That's not illegal, is it?" she asked in her most innocent voice. "Please get out of the car," the guard said, stepping back. Lisa unfolded her long, slim body out of the car, holding down her dark green miniskirt as she did. She was wearing a matching blouse and tennis shoes. At 16, she stood 5'10" with another 2 inches to grow, mostly adding to her already long legs. "Open the trunk," the guard ordered. Lisa took the keys from the ignition and opened the trunk, and stepped back. The guard looked around the empty truck, pulling up the floorboards to check the spare tire. He left everything open and slammed the lid. Looking Lisa up and down, he said, "Okay, over here," directing her to the side of the car. "Hands on the roof. Spread your legs." He began to search her bare arms, his lips inches from her neck. His hands came down to her shoulders, then around to her small breasts. Then he started down to her waist. A loud horn blast from the car behind them caused the guard, Lisa, and the cops all to jerk their heads up to the honking horn. The woman behind the driving wheel was shaking her fingers at the guard, saying, "Oh, no, you don't." The cop called the guard over for a few words. The guard turned, handed Lisa her license, and said, "You can go." Lisa turned and gave the woman a great big smile and mouthed the words, "Thank you." 5 minutes later, Lisa pulled over into a parking lot. "Wow," she said, pulling her shaking hands off the steering wheel, putting her head on her hands as chill after chill ran up and down her body. "Damn," she said, trying to take a breath. Lisa had never shot a live target before. She could still see the bullet hitting the target's fat face, in the nose. The bald head popped up like that, shook her. Then it hit her. 2 shots. Master Sergeant would not like that. Anyway, 2 hits. She said as her head fell down. She was trying to wipe the image from her head. "I got felt up," Lisa said as she jerked her head up. "Ooh, he just felt me. He should not have done that." But her nipples became involuntarily hard, looking at the flowers. It could have ended a lot worse, real fast, if he had gotten a little lower. Chills ran through her body, again causing her to shake her head and shoulders. If it hadn't been for that woman, well, I don't know. Lisa took a deep breath in the car, put the car in gear, and headed back to Newport Beach. She and her mother had an appointment that afternoon with Dr. Sharon in the lair, her mother's word for the psychological interrogation room. Lisa pulled into the parking space, the same parking space that she had first come to 4 years ago. Everything was different then. She was 12 and had not found herself. She didn't even know where to look. The target's face flashed back into her. It made her shake. Lisa had an hour before her and her mother's appointment. Lisa was drained. The only energy left in the car lay in the bouquet of flowers next to her. Lisa closed her eyes. Her mind went back to the time 4 years ago, a painful, exposed, confusing, embarrassing time. A time before she knew Lisa, before she even had a name, a time when she was still a he. So that's a short chapter. Uh, it it goes pretty quick, and it's meant to carry the action of the book because it's another action thriller book, and so it's meant to carry all that action out as quickly as possible, so that you understand what the book is going to be about just from the first chapter. Okay, that was about all I wanted to say today. It's a beautiful day again, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Don't forget my website, Jane's Adventures in Storyland. That's long, I know, yeah, but it's easy to remember. www.janesadventuresinstoryland.com. I thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything else. And you all stay safe, keep your distance, and have a wonderful and enjoyable day. Be kind to one another. Thank you.